Beyond Emissions Podcast by Soligent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Josh Brumm, Energy Storage Manager here at Soligent and host of the Beyond Emissions Podcast. At the Soligent YouTube channel, like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell in the corner so you can be a part of our ongoing conversation. Comment section down below. Make sure you type your questions there. Our team will get back to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Experts from around the world coming on the program talking about the how we're going to create the world that is beyond emissions, what we do every single day with you, our customers and our listeners out there installing systems. Thank you very much for relying on Soligent. We appreciate your business and the opportunity to team up with you in empowering our customers to help us create this world that is beyond emissions. And we talk a lot about the how, you know, what we do every day, the technology that we offer, the great manufacturers that we're partnered with and vendors from around the world with their expert engineers coming on the Beyond Emissions show to talk about the different technologies that help us create this world that is beyond emissions. Solar, energy storage, all the planning and designing behind the scenes. It takes a lot. It takes a village. It really does. You remember that saying? Well, that's true in solar. It takes all of us to make this business not just a successful business, but something that's making a difference, changing our planet day after day after day, creating this world that is beyond emissions. That's the how. And of course, the why, or, what does it mean? Well, I ask you that every single week, and I'll ask you again. And type down your thoughts in the comment section below. Go to the Soligent LinkedIn page as well and type in your comments and share with all of us. We want to know, what does beyond emissions mean for you? Does it mean the economy, economic explosions going on, jobs in renewable energy, solar, and energy storage nationwide throughout our country, especially over the past decade or so, but it's getting even bigger. And just the amount of people that are employed in this industry in so many different facets, it's amazing. So economy, or maybe it's environment. Millions and millions of years to get that barrel of oil down in the ground through the natural processes. And now we take it out quickly, refine it, burn it. Energy is used once and it's gone forever. But you look at solar, it's made one time, it's put on your roof, and it's producing energy for you day after day after day after day. It's not just a one and done. So it's great for the environment overall as far as utilizing energy in this world. Beyond emissions, what does it mean to you? Our guest on the program today, Chris Hamilton, account manager, experienced in so many different areas, working for us here at Soligent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. So glad to have you and your perspective here, Chris. We're going to talk a lot about our mission here at Soligent today, and also as well how the future, it depends on the kids that are growing up, and you had a chance to touch some of those and make, those minds and make an impression on those minds in regards to the solar industry. I can't wait to talk about that as well with our audience. Welcome to Beyond Emissions Podcast, Chris Hamilton. Welcome to the show.
Hey there, Josh. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I've heard a few of the episodes so far, so glad to be one of the guests on this side of the call.
Oh, we're so happy to have you here. Beyond emissions, every single day. I mean, we have weekly meetings where we talk about the amount of carbon that we took out of the atmosphere. By employee, it gets broken down, but really we could break that down all across this land with installers and solar, dealers out there that work with Soligent on a daily basis, that are out there on the ground installing this technology that's helping us create this world that is beyond emissions. But we're in a business that's making a difference, right, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. And I think Just beyond emissions to me, thinking about this, I mean, because I'm employed in the solar industry, have been for 15 years, it's definitely more aligned with the green side. So I believe, I mean, beyond emissions kind of puts a name to an action that I think a lot of us in this industry kind of use in our daily motivations. It's more of a mindset that aspires towards a cleaner, greener future, accelerating the energy transition. When I hear the word beyond, it kind of triggers a sci-fi little aspect in my brain, whether it's Star Trek or Star Wars, but something in the beyond and beyond in terms of sci-fi, technology, future. It's kind of like solar is the future. We are living in the creation of this green future, and it's exciting. The future is now. The future is bright. Solar renewables are part of the mix, part of the balanced mix of moving towards that transition. So for me, it's that mindset, it's that framework, concept that creates that mission that drives us daily.
Chris Hamilton, account manager here with us at Soligent, every day working with customers in the field in our mission of creating this emissions-free future. And we are making a difference. Chris, thanks so much for joining us today here at the Beyond Emissions podcast. We have so many children out there that are tuning in, driving around. I remember going with my dad when he'd take me to work with him, and I'd be listening to his talk radio or whatever he was listening to. Well, you listeners, you're solar installers. You might bring your kids with you from time to time on a job or something you're doing and traveling for work. And if your kids happen to be listening right now, I would say it, math. Math is huge. Without math, solar and energy storage would not be successful. It takes math and physics and science, all of these key categories that if you're just learning in school, just blindly, math on a piece of paper, it doesn't connect. But in this business that we're in, this building this green future, as you say, Chris Hamilton with us again from Soligent on the Beyond Emissions podcast. When it comes to these kids that are listening, driving with their parents, listening to the Beyond Emissions podcast, talk to them a little bit. You had a chance to reach out and speak to some kids recently. We want to learn more about that as well, but talk to the kids that are listening right now. Math, science, physics, it doesn't have to be boring. In this green economy with solar and energy storage, all of those subjects come to life for us every single day, don't they?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean, first thing you do when you wake up, if you naturally wake up without an alarm, maybe it's because the sun came out. Our bodies are trained to awake and start our days with the sun, go to bed when the sun goes down, and the sun is the creator of the photons, the light particles that dislodge electrons, that create solar energy, create an electric flow, and that's what we build our business around, the technology that supports that ball of light in the sky, that energy. They say 1 hour of sun on the earth can power everything on the earth for a given year, but the question is, how do we harness that power? How do we make that harnessing technology more efficient, do more with smaller space, do more at the right price? I mean, years ago, about 15 years ago when I got started in solar, rough numbers, it was about 10 times the cost of product as it is now. So pricing has to come down. It has to be an economic advantage. There has to be a return on an investment for someone to put the money out there to offset their energy usage by creating their own power and not buying that power from utilities. So in general, the industry makes sense, but when you're a high school student and you're thinking, oh, what am I going to do with my life? That's where trying to help communicate and bridge that gap is what's exciting when you're talking to kids of any age. I, in particular, were talking with high school seniors who were deciding what they want to do after high school. Are they going to go to college? Are they going to go to a trade school? Are they going to take some time off? And when my sister asked me to come to her school to do this talk, she runs a math class there, but it was set up with multiple sessions where students could pick what classroom they wanted to go to and talk with various professionals. So she said, never had anyone from solar renewables. I live and work out of a home office here in Indiana. So it's something that we don't see every day out here. I did previously work with companies out in Colorado, California. A lot of my customers are based in Florida and New England. So it's a national industry. There's a lot of different local markets that are either getting started or booming for various reasons. So it's exciting to be able to do that, and exciting to be able to connect it to the kids and what they thought during this day of picking what they might want to learn a little bit more about. So there was definitely some engaged students in the classroom. It was exciting to hear. We were trying to boil down, like, just in general, what sort of jobs could be in solar, and I was asking them, did anyone know or have an idea of what they might want to get into or learn more of after high school? And one person kind of shot their hand up first and said, welding. I said, oh, that's amazing. That's ironic, because one of our partners, Fronius, they do inverters. They change power from DC to AC. They have a manufacturing facility, assembly up here in Portage, Indiana, and one of their other specialties is high-end welding. So they do one side of changing DC to AC, and then they do the other side, AC to DC of welding. So there's a direct solar connotation there. And then I was thinking about, a lot of the systems that we install our solar panels onto. Their racking, their custom rack designs, whether it's being mounted up on a rooftop, flush on a roof, or large ground mounts, whether it's going straight over a field or parking or canopies, parking structures. Those are great applications for solar. And a lot of times I was with a racking company for a few years, and one of our custom designs was, not every system's just out of a box. There's custom engineering work, there's design work, there's fabrication work, and there could be, master welders on site that are welding steel beams that are cut, tapered per site to meet the engineering requirements of that site. With Colorado, you have a lot of snow. Florida, you have a lot of wind. So every system's designed per site, and it was cool to be able to make a direct correlation with what one student might think they want to do, and then how that could apply in the solar industry.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I still remember being in like math class. Chris Hamilton, by the way, with us, account manager here at Soligent extraordinaire. I love it. I'm so glad you spent time with the kids and shared with them why they should be in this business. It is a great business to be in. Chris Hamilton from Soligent with us right now on the Beyond Emissions podcast. Thank you so much, Chris. Yeah, when I was a kid, I still remember being in math class with a piece of paper and just, okay, everyone, go ahead to my, you know what I mean? It's like, it's so boring. It's so boring. Oh, and it's not that math is boring. I am now, working with you and our great team here as energy storage manager here at Soligent. And math is the key of everything we do in energy storage. Math is the key of how you figure out those customized designs for that specialty welding project to create a specialty racking solution. Math is how you figure out, based on someone's energy consumption, what size solar system that they need, or what size energy storage system that they need. Every single day, we get these questions like, hey, I want a battery for my house. How much? Well, I don't know. How big of a gas tank do you need, and how far, we need to know how far you want to drive, and how much gas you burn per mile. And we can figure, again, it's crazy versus that boring white piece of paper. It becomes a puzzle that you want to unravel, and it actually has a real solution or answer that can make a difference in someone's life by providing energy for their home. Isn't that cool? Wow.
It's amazing. I mean, the amount of install applications. I mean, every time I'm driving around, it's great to see a solar system on a residential roof. Then you see creative tilt-ups on gas stations. You see large ground mounts. I mean, the applications are endless, and that's what we do is we help our customers achieve their goals, whether it's a small residential or large commercial utility ground mount. I mean, solar on schools is an amazing application as well, and not just for offsetting power usage. If you had an array on a school rooftop and you have the data monitoring to where you could log on. I mean, when I was in high school, we didn't really I don't think a lot of schools had internet where you could see live production data. We, let alone, did not have solar on our roof. So it's just using some of this future new technology and showing that these applications are real. They're being implemented out there in the world, and then you can tie your classroom curriculum into that. You can look at today's production. You can look on a cloudy day and understand that, all right, if the clouds are going over the solar panels, you might have not a clean bell curve of production. You're going to have not good production on snowy coverage days. So then you really start putting real world examples to some of these concepts of how you size a system, how you maintain over time, and how you predict summer sun versus winter sun. We get more hours of sun in the day in the summer here in the northern hemisphere than we do in the winter. So just kind of letting it all click. I mean, before I got into solar, I would see a shadow on the ground and think, oh, what time of day is it? And I didn't really know, but now you kind of know sun rises in the east, sets in the west, and it's kind of a guiding post to what we do in our life and business.
And it helps so many families and businesses out there. So it's not just rich people getting solar. It's people from every, walk of life that gets the benefit of having this clean technology.
Yeah. No, I read an article. I just pulled it up here. I read it last week, and I was like, this really applies to jumping on this show. I wanted to mention it here. It was talking about a school district in Arkansas, the Batesville School District, and they installed about 1,400 panels across 7 school districts, so they could utilize that in the curriculum. They could be known as kind of a green energy leader in the region. But one of the coolest things that I hadn't heard of, and they said they did the research, and they found this is the only school district to do it, but it's leading by example. They gave all their teachers a $15,000 a year raise in salary. So now they have high demand for good teachers to come to this region because they're saving on their energy. Therefore, they want to reinvest in their staff and teachers, and of course their bottom line. But it all aligns together.
Soligent, the largest pure play solar distributor in the Americas. It's not by accident, right, Chris? We have so many people behind the scenes working every single day. Talk a little bit about that, just the infrastructure that we have here at Soligent and the type of customers that we help on a daily basis.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I am one inside account manager here with Soligent. I'm part of a team. We have outside account managers that meet with the customers, understand kind of the high level, big picture, how they're growing. We incorporate some of their demand and forecast numbers to let our purchasing teams, our supply chain team, know what to be buying, where to stock it around the country. Right now, we have just over about 6 or so warehouses around the U.S. We're opening more this year. We have network of consignment warehouses and 3PL. So kind of when I was talking to the kids, I was like, do you guys ever buy anything on Amazon? They get it to you same day or within a couple days. That's because they have a network of warehouses around the country. And it's almost like Soligent is kind of like an Amazon of solar to our solar installers who are our partners. They're the ones out there meeting with homeowners, meeting with business owners. They are the ones signing the deals, and we are the ones that are supplying them with the products to install in their local markets. One of the cool things about solar is the whole support of this long tail industry. I mean, we are a national company. We work all over the U.S. and North America, but the people who are installing our installer partners, they are installing to people who want to save money in their region, homes and businesses, and they are supporting a local workforce. They have a warehouse. They're supporting real estate with warehousing in their region, employing the installers, their own designers. I mean, it's great how this whole industry kind of links together to support. Part of our mission is supporting our partners in their regions. So we're all about creating an impact, creating carbon offset, and we want to do that with the right team. And everybody plays an important role, from our warehouse employees to our accounting team, making sure that we're extending terms to our customers, creating custom commercial project finance accounts, job accounts to finance large projects that might be over their normal line of credit that they have with Soligent. So we want to get creative. We're always finding a way. I've seen in my 5 years here, if we can figure out a way to get something done, we're going to get it done. It might be outside the box. It might not be something that you can find right on our website, but bring it to us. We're happy to find the right product for you if we don't have it in a warehouse right now on day one. I've seen some amazing things happen. We love growing with our customers. I've got some customers that started off with one warehouse. Now they're up to 8 or 9. They're expanding from Florida out west. It's really great to, that's what keeps me going every day. It's exciting to grow with our partners, sharing the success with our partners, and really see new markets come online. I mean, we have solar installers that have been doing it for 10 plus years. We also have markets that are opening because solar is becoming more attractive, whether there's rebates, incentives, or maybe a roofing company realizes I want to start offering solar, or an electrician company says, I can start turning on solar. All these companies start working together. They touch similar customers, homeowners and business owners that are either doing improvements or doing new construction. And we are one of, I think, the best partners to help keep things linked together.
Chris Hamilton on the Beyond Emissions podcast by Soligent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas. And Chris has been here for a while now, so he gets a flavor of, the market, what's going on in the solar and renewable energy, industry, his customers he talks to and works with and helps every single day. So glad to have you on the podcast, Chris. Question from our audience. This is a great question. Everyone, and I say this all the time, it's all about the why. Everyone's got a different goal, a different reason for going solar or getting energy storage, or just doing, some sort, maybe making their home a smart home with Savant or whatever it might be, right? Everyone's got a different goal or a different why. And yet they're all our customers. So, that must be very interesting navigating and figuring out what is the driver for each customer, right? For each project, there's a different reason. It's not just to save money. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons. So you work in the Northeast, kind of the center of the country, as well as far down south as Florida. And in doing so, you work with a lot of different types of people who have different goals or different reasons for why they want to go solar. So does that differ state from state to, or region to region? What does that look like in the solar market as far as, the motivation for the customers of why they want solar, depending on where they're at?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it varies. I mean, other people might have different opinions working in different markets, but because I do have a variety of markets, I think it's less market driven and more customer driven, because, and I say that, for example, because some customers, they compete on price, and if that's what we hear, we have to listen to what they want, listen to what they're using, and find a way that we can solve their pain, whether it's if their perceived pain is that they're not getting stuff for cheap enough, do we have something that can meet that need? We're not always going to race to the bottom on pricing, but we want to have a mix. We want to have our low cost, our cost efficient products, and we want to have a mix of high end products, because on the flip side, we work with customers that really stand behind their value, their added value of product mix, of installation. They might not be the lowest cost in their market. And that's how they compete against those that are the low cost. But we work with a good variety of customers. I wouldn't say we work with everybody out there, but a good variety, and we want to understand what is their motivation, what is their why, and how can we meet those needs. It's all parts of when we have a new customer come on board, or a new customer, maybe someone branches off of a company that we work with and they start their own solar company. I've worked with many of these transition or legacy customers. So are they aligned to do the same that they did in the past, or are they trying something new, and understanding what that is so that we can match our offerings with their needs. Certainly have a lot of tools in our belt, and we want to make sure we listen for what they need and offer accordingly.
Yeah. It's all about the why, and every customer has a different why. And, listeners, thanks for tuning in here. Chris Hamilton with us, account manager at Soligent here at the Beyond Emissions podcast. Please like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell in the corner, and your comments down below. We love your questions, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible with the answers. And again, make sure you check us out on social media right here at LinkedIn also as well. Oh, yeah, we're at Spotify now. Check us out there too. everybody's why is different. Chris, I agree with you. And we really weave and bob and do what we need to do to make a customized solution happen for each customer. Customization is key. In energy storage, Chris, I hear it all the time. I've got a 3,000 square foot home. I want a battery to run my house. How much? How much? How much? And the answer is, I don't know. I don't have my crystal ball. I mean, we have to be honest with people. Square footage of your house is great for sizing carpet, but not energy. It's all about circling back to the education, math, science, physics. It's all about the math. It's energy in versus energy out. Whether you're sizing and designing a solar system to offset your electric bill, or you need energy storage, you need to know how much energy you're going to put in there. How much energy are we offsetting for? And then after that, it's all about math, 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 math. And customization is key. What other business out there isn't using customization? Lord knows if I had a plumber come in and he did not give me a custom pipe fit for my toilet or something, for example, we'd have overflows, right? We have everything fits together a certain way for a reason. And we use math and customization in the solar and renewable energy business to get people the right systems that work for them. Do you have those conversations where there feels like there's a little bit of pressure, like, come on, hurry up. How much? And the answer is, well, hold on. You don't just get a prescription from your doctor. You have to take tests first. We have that conversation, right? When we're customizing something.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd say with the rate that solar is growing, our customers are growing, skilled employees are growing, and we get a lot more questions. And I think as an industry grows, sometimes that need for speed might overshadow the need to do things right. And that's where our job is to slow it down, even if it's just slowing it down to 1 minute and trying to figure out exactly what is being asked of us and what their ultimate motivation and goals are, just so we do it right. I mean, I've seen many times where even if we thought we did something right, if something comes back and might not be done correctly, we have to figure out why and how and improve in the future. So, solar's grown 10 times over the last 10 years. That's a lot more people. That's a lot more jobs. That's a lot more opportunities that something could go wrong. When you have high volume, there are going to be mistakes and human error. So our job is to minimize that within the best of our ability, slow it down, try to do right by our processes, right by their end customers. I mean, our customers are the installers, but in the end, they are installing for their home and business owners, and that's who should be getting the best package to meet the needs that were discussed from the front end.
Exactly. You measure twice and cut once is what my grandpa used to always say, Chris, and I think that's absolutely correct. Wow, what a great job you do with your team and your customers every day. I'm so thankful that you're working with us on our team here at Soligent, man. What is your, out of all the different cool technologies that we've got available to our customers here at Soligent, do you have a favorite or just kind of like, wow, that is so cool. I love learning more about company X or product X or technology X. Do you have a favorite?
And I'm not saying that's just for your regard as the energy storage manager, but in the 5 years I've been here, we've really seen, I think, the next phase of energy storage hit the market, from Solar Edge's Energy Hub, Enphase's Encharge, all the other systems that can be put together. I mean, Sonnen, Solarc, and their batteries, and every week and month we hear about possibly new webinars, new products hitting the market. I think that's really the new frontier. That's what excites me. Of where's the next stage of this industry going? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if I had a customer when I was on the front line selling to homes and businesses, and if a customer asked about batteries, it was the technology might not be there yet unless you are a hobbyist, unless you don't have access to the grid. But now there's so many applications for the storage side of the business, from managing your time of use rates to going off grid, protecting during an outage, to backing up just critical loads. I mean, I think that's the exciting part. I'm no expert by any means. I mean, I have access. I'm on trainings. I know I know who to ask. I'm dangerous enough to bring in the right people to size something up, and then once we get some customers rolling with it, helping make sure that it stays, part of their top of mind. I think every market is using storage to some degree for various reasons, and that excites me to, see that come in just the last couple of years and see where it's going to go in the next few.
I know, huh? The main value proposition just a couple years ago for batteries was just having power during an outage. That was the main value proposition. Now, that's kind of the icing on the cake or the cherry on top. And now with all the different rate schemes and everything and rate increases during certain times of the day from the utility, having energy storage, you can actually pay for your batteries now just by using them at the right times and programming your inverters with the right functionality. And in doing so, you could end up, they'll pay for themselves. And then by the time they pay for themselves, oh yeah, by the way, you also have emergency load backup where your fridge will be running if the grid goes down. What a trip, right, Chris?
Oh yeah, exactly. Power from the sun. The future of solar is bright.
So bright, I got to wear my shades, right? I love it. The sun never sets on cool, right? I love it. Chris Hamilton, account manager with Soligent, the largest pure play solar distributor in the Americas. If you're interested in getting a customized program for your business, if you're an installer tuning in right now to the Beyond Emissions podcast, first of all, click the link below and join us as a dealer. Fill that out, become a dealer today with us here at Soligent. And someone like Chris Hamilton will take care of your needs and make sure you have customized solutions to help us create this world that is beyond emissions. Chris, for our listeners, by the way, thank you so much for being on the show, man. For our listeners, please let our listeners know how they can contact you and any parting thoughts you have.
Yeah, certainly. Email is chris.hamilton@soligent.net. Work cell is 857-259-2294. Happy and excited to answer any sort of questions. I'd like to leave just a parting note regarding, kids learning and being excited and interested about a possible career in renewable energy. There's definitely some online, resources, courses, that you can look into while you're at any stage in your career. People might not have the same career their entire job life. So people can change jobs. People can make their own moves and waves. So one thing I looked at when I was first getting into solar was Solar Energy International, or solarenergy.org. They offer online classes, coursework. They even have programs where you can partner with high schools and get licenses for some of their intro to solar. So depending on what sort of school and curriculum might want to focus on that, great resource of people and community out there. And then for people that are actually getting up on job sites, there's the NABCEP.org. That's NABCEP, and that's the North American Board of Certified Energy Practitioners. Different ways of getting certified to have your credentials to do solar. I mean, they say, I saw one stat that said less than 1/3 of solar industry jobs requires a bachelor's degree, but there are many positions in advanced fields. So, no matter what it is, if you want to work in this industry, there's going to be a place for you. And contact me if you have any questions. I've definitely done some mentoring to people. 10, 15 years ago, solar was very new, and people were like, oh, that guy Chris out in Colorado, he works in solar. Let me talk to him. How do I get in solar? So just kind of would happy to brainstorm and run ideas around and see how I can help.
Oh, man, Chris, you're such a good dude, and so glad that you're representing Soligent, and so thankful that you're on our team. Sorry for the Whitney Houston reference, but the children are the future, right?
Exactly.
They are. God bless you, Chris. Hang on the line for our engineers, and thank you so much for being on the show today, sir.
Thank you, Josh. It was great.
Chris Hamilton, account manager here with Soligent, and so thankful to have him on, teaching the kids and going and seeing the kids in school and letting them know there is a future. There is a future, and the future is right now. We're working to make a difference in this world, to create a world that is beyond emissions. And with people like Chris Hamilton willing to share that knowledge with the younger generation, I think that our generation can look at ourselves and say, darn it, our kids are going to have a great future. At least they can. It is available. Join us as a dealer here today if you would like to partner with a great organization like Soligent. We'd love to be your supplier and customize systems for your customers' projects. Click on the link below. Become a dealer right here. It is the Beyond Emissions podcast at Spotify and the Soligent YouTube channel. And Chris Hamilton, our first guest, man, what a great guy, man. Get in touch with me if you want to have a great person to work with in the solar business and just mentorship, consulting. The guy does it all. His job is to help sell you the products that you need, but he adds more to it than that. He customizes systems. He listens. He does his research to make sure that you've got the right system components that you need for your project to be successful. What a good dude. And he's out in the community working with the kids too. How awesome. Chris Hamilton, if you'd like to get in touch with him, it's chris.hamilton@soligent.net. Reach out to me in the comment section below and I'll connect you with Chris if you want him to be your rep from Soligent. Thanks for tuning in. The Beyond Emissions podcast by Soligent, the largest pure play solar distributor in the Americas. Coming up next, just around the corner, continuing the Beyond Emissions podcast.
We at Soligent are incredibly excited to announce our partnership with GivePower. Well, we wouldn't be here today talking to you about GivePower if it wasn't for our partners, LoanPal. They've been with GivePower since the beginning. Their contribution has given water and light to countless people across the globe. We are truly inspired by LoanPal's dedication to the cause. Something LoanPal said really strikes a chord regarding GivePower, that this is something that's more than money. It's what makes making money more worthwhile. In a lot of ways, that's synonymous with what we're doing here at Soligent.
Here's how you can help.
What we've decided to do is compound LoanPal's contribution by donating to GivePower on every order paid via our direct pay program through LoanPal. That's right. Every time your company uses your LoanPal portal to pay Soligent for material, 5 people get clean drinking water for a full year.
Together we're stronger.
Together, we can choose to be extraordinary by giving to people who live outside our reach. To us, this means a lot.
Soligent's purpose meets GivePower's mission. Join the impact. Soligent, Solar Engine. SolarEngineSolutions.com. Go there to find out more. CALSA, CALSSA, stands for California Solar and Storage Association. Join over 700 companies, including Soligent, and become a CALSA member today. Go to www.calsa.org/join and enter Soligent as the discount code and receive 10% off your first year. Membership starts as low as $500 per year and covers you and your entire company. You can pay in monthly installments or once per year. Why join CALSA? For over 40 years, CALSA has been fighting for your rights in California. If you're an installer or contractor in California, it's CALSA working behind the scenes on your behalf to protect the solar and energy storage business you and your companies rely on each day. Imagine the utilities are totally unchecked without CALSA fighting for you. CALSA fights for your rights and also provides resources like direct one-on-one support from their experts to help you with your questions, navigating everything from NEM3 to battery fire code compliance. CALSA will help you and your company to stay up to date on the latest policy changes that impact the California solar and storage market and your bottom line. Joining CALSA helps to fund their work to lobby for cutting solar and storage red tape, pass pro solar laws, and to defend your business business from attacks. Become a CALSA member today at www.calsa.org/join and enter the discount code Soligent to receive 10% off your first year. CALSA is fighting for you and your business. Join over 700 companies like Soligent and make a difference in the California solar and energy storage market today. Welcome back, Beyond Emissions Podcast. Man, what a great first guest today, Chris Hamilton, account manager, right here at Soligent. The Beyond Emissions Podcast by Soligent continues on, though. We got another wonderful guest for you. Experts from around the world always joining us on the program, valued customer partners, as well as vendor and engineers, vendor partners that come on, manufacturers from around the world. People who have something to teach us. And that's why we tune in to Beyond Emissions every week, because there's always something to learn. Like my grandpa used to say when I was a kid, if you're not learning something new every day, then, you're doing it wrong. And that's what we're here to do every day, is to learn something new on our program, Beyond Emissions Podcast by Soligent, at the Spotify channel for Beyond Emissions by Soligent, as well as the Soligent YouTube channel. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you have any questions, be a part of this ongoing conversation about what it's going to take to create this world that is beyond emissions. And write your comments down below. We appreciate you being here. Okay, without further ado, I said we got another great guest, and we do. A friend of mine, also as well, he's a customer partner here at Soligent. Tom Sbrega from Sbrega Electric. Tom, I saw you on TV here in Central California this last week discussing and educating people about NEM3 in California. Folks, this is a big one, right? Tom, welcome back to the Beyond Emissions Podcast, man.
Thanks. Good to be here.
I love it, man. Your company is always on the front lines, if you will. You're battery centric. You live off grid yourself. We've had you on a previous broadcast and learned about just how you got into this, and you love energy storage. You love living off the grid. You actually live off the grid yourself, and now you're helping others have the benefits of energy storage. Sbrega Electric, Tom Sbrega, owner with us, but he's not just an owner. He's out there on the rooftops himself, working, hooking those batteries up. That's something that, you get an owner with a company these days, and they're back in the office. Tom, Sbrega Electric, you're out there in the midst of it, working with customers on their properties and on their projects yourself, hands-on, right?
Yeah, I try not to be. My time's better spent working with the customers and designing the systems and helping with get the contracts together and everything. But I'm always there to set up the jobs and to work when I'm needed. And for training, contractors are responsible for training their crew, and that's something a lot of companies forget. So with proper training, that's where you get the expert installation practices. And that's where you can sleep easy knowing that everybody's roof is good and their system's hooked up right. And so that gives us a lot of confidence to have proper training on the job. And so that's kind of what I do.
That's awesome. Tom Sbrega, Sbrega Electric, utilizes Soligent as well. I'm telling you, folks, if you haven't joined up as a dealer yet, click on the link below. Tom's been a partner working with Soligent for quite a while now, and it's all about excellence, and that's what Tom leads with out there with the customers, and making sure that his teams and contractors that are on his jobs are properly trained. Folks do forget about that. Speaking of education and training, you're training customers on how important it is to have energy storage. NEM2 is going to expire in April. NEM3, we're talking about California, folks. Tom is in Central California. By the way, give him a call, area code 559-961-9793. Correct, Tom? Did I get that number right?
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, give him a call, 559-961-9793. Sbrega Electric. In Central California. They have experience with battery-based projects, and it's so important and vital that not just for battery backup, but for your return on investment once NEM3 comes, energy storage is going to be even that much more important. I saw you on Central Valley today educating the masses about NEM3 in California. Tell our listeners a little bit about that. And great job, by the way.
Yeah, this is something that they've been talking about for quite a while. And every year, the entire industry gets a little nervous that they're going to pass something like this. And they finally did. So to give a little history, we have in California so much solar that we are actually overproducing at times of the day. A few days a year, we actually produce more energy than we can use during those sunny hours. So the way to handle this is battery storage. Now, many in the industry, including myself, thought that PG&E and the other utilities would handle this themselves because they're getting all of this power. We thought they would figure out a way to store it and then sell it back to us at night. That didn't really happen. Maybe it's from all the lawsuits, I'm not sure, with the different issues that they've had, the utility companies, or the bonuses they're giving to their executives, who knows. But for whatever reason, they decided to put millions of dollars instead into lobbying, and the CPUC, they finally got them to agree that the way to solve this problem is to simply no longer pay and reimburse the customer's retail rate for their power. So now you're going to get reimbursed wholesale rate, which is about 20-25% of the retail rate. What that means is if you get solar after April 15th, you will have a bunch of energy that you overproduce that you're not really getting paid for fairly. And because of that, you need to buy your own batteries. And that's kind of the whole reason they're doing this, is to encourage people to buy their own batteries. So the battery storage problem, in my opinion, has been shifted from the public utilities over to the private consumers.
And they had the gall with their lobbyist to actually say, we had Brad Hevner, policy director from CALSA, California Solar Storage Association, on the program, and he confirmed this, that the lobbyist from the utilities, from PG&E, for example, had the gall to say that solar's hurting poor people. What about all the poor people that get jobs in the solar industry? What about all of, I don't think so, right? This isn't just, rich people benefit from solar. That didn't jive with the facts, right, Tom?
No, I don't think so at all. I mean, a lot of the reason people get solar is for the financial benefit, because they don't, their energy bills are exhausting them. I mean, it's just, you can get solar, and even if you finance it, you can finance it and you're paying a set amount every month and it's not going to go up, and you're saving X amount per year, and you don't have those summer AC bills that just kill a household. When you have a $500, $700 bill and you're used to $50, $100, and then for several months out of the year, it's like another high car payment or something, I mean, it's just a lot of the people who get solar, it's to save the money. So I don't see how that makes any sense.
Right. And it's almost like they forget about the facts that their rates are not coming down. So those people that don't have solar, that might be a little bit, lower on the economic scale in their earnings, suddenly they're even pinched even tighter if we don't have solar out there, say during the daytime when it's the hottest. And most of that solar is being used. So yeah, exactly. The argument did not make sense, yet it moved forward. And I agree with you. Tom Sbrega from Sbrega Electric on the line with us. Call Sbrega Electric in Central California today, 559-961-9793. That's 559-961-9793. They are amazing in their service, in their professionalism, and their ability to get you an energy storage and solar solution that makes sense. So after April 15th, so April 14th is the deadline. After April 15th, basically without storage, that return on investment doesn't make sense. Primarily in the past, energy storage, the main value proposition, Tom, seemed to always be battery backup when the grid goes down. And that's still important. But now it seems to be that value proposition of battery backup when the grid goes down is now more icing on the cake. Whereas it's now the primary focus of the energy storage portion of the system is going to be to pay for the ROI by capturing that energy that you would normally sell back. Curious, what is the, percentage, or is there an average, or is it just different for everyone? How much energy when people aren't at home generally is being sent back of their overall PV array production in a day? Half of it or so? Or, what are your thoughts? Because I know stuff is still running when they're home.
More than half of it. If you look at a typical system and you look at the graph, you have a nice big rainbow on that graph that shows your solar production. And that energy consumption, that bar line is very low, just skims the bottom, because a lot of times people aren't home. They're working. You're not using much in your house. So the majority of it, in most cases, the majority of it's being sold back, and that's being given to you as a credit.
So now we have to design energy storage to store that amount. How are you going about figuring out what that excess number would look like for each customer in designing their energy storage now that they need to store it instead of selling it back?
Well, we can pull very detailed graphs from PG&E, and with these graphs, we can use it to see how much they use typically overnight. And that's what we want the battery bank to be. We want it to, when the sun goes down, we want that battery bank to hold them out over the night, and so they're not buying any from PG&E. So in the morning, their batteries are depleted or close to depleted, and they charge back up. Instead of sending it to PG&E, you're sending it to your batteries. That's what's happening.
And does that kilowatt hours of storage needed really differs for each customer, right? Like we hear it all the time in this business. I have a 3,000 square foot home. How much? Like you said, no, we need to look at these graphs from PG&E or your utility to determine that. It really is different for each person, right? Talk about the customization aspect of what you do at Sbrega Electric, Tom.
Yeah, houses vary. It could be a battery bank of 10, 20, 30, 40. It's going to be somewhere in that range. So it's a pretty big range. And you have houses that have a lot of propane, in which case they'd use less energy. And you have houses that have no propane, or I guess in my area a lot, in Madera, Mariposa County, it's propane, but we're talking natural gas when you're in Fresno and other areas. So a lot of times you're using a lot of gas appliances, and in that case, your energy use is going to be lower. But if you have a house with all electric, those are our biggest systems. Because that's a lot of energy. If every single thing in your house is electric, your water heater, your stove, your oven, your heating, if everything's electric, now you need a lot more. You need a lot more storage. If you have electric heating in the winter, you're going to need a pretty big battery bank to take care of your household through the night.
See, customization really is key. You're right, Tom. And this is what I've been singing from the rooftops. The world wants this simple plug a battery into a house, it's magic program, but it doesn't work that way. I said it one time. I've said it a million times, Tom. If selling energy storage was as easy as selling just plain solar, everybody would already be doing it. But it requires time, patience, some effort, maybe a little homework, asking the right questions, some back and forth and customization. And, the companies that like yours at Sbrega Electric that have taken the time to figure out that fact and embraced customization, the only companies that are going to survive in this type of NEM3 environment are those who embrace selling energy storage the right way, because we've seen it a million times, right? Commercials with misleading taglines talking about how this little battery system will power your whole house while everyone's eating popcorn and the game comes back on. It's not magic, right, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, when you have it designed correctly, it does feel like magic, because your power would go out and your power comes right back on. And with the transfer switch in milliseconds, I mean, sometimes you don't even see a light bulb flick with some of these systems. But it has to be designed right.
That's it. When it's designed correctly. And that's the extra effort. That's the customization. Companies that are out there advertising on TV. I even saw it the other day, a little portable box that this lady, it was claiming that it was whole house backup, this little tiny portable box. And I'm thinking to myself, there's probably maybe 2 kilowatt hours total in there. What's that going to run her light and charge her cell phone and power her fridge for an hour? I mean, there's not a lot of, forthrightness in commercials these days. So do you come across that where you have to kind of just, set realistic expectations as you talk with customers? Or how do you go about that, getting them to embrace the idea of customization? I'm curious.
Well, yeah, you have to get over all the marketing propaganda and there's, like, for instance, it's very common for me to hear someone say, well, this person said that they're going to give me these batteries and it'll last me 3 days. And I'm thinking, what does that even mean, 3 days? I mean, when you have a properly designed battery system, as long as the sun's out, those batteries are going to drain and they're going to get charged the next day. You can go 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, a month, forever if the sun was out forever. I mean, obviously you have bad weather sometimes, but I mean, there's no reason that this whole idea of putting a day on it, 3 days, 2 days, oh, this will last you 2 days, this will last you 3 days. That doesn't make any sense, because that's not how battery systems work. These are renewable energy. They renew every day. The sun charges them back up. And then you have a charged battery bank. And then you go another day. And then it charges it up. And you have a charged battery bank. And then you go another day. The only downfall would be bad weather. If you have bad weather, that's why in our battery backup systems, we have a generator inlet for those perfect storms where you also have bad weather. And you do have that option to charge it up with a generator.
And you use safe lithium iron phosphate batteries. By the way, folks, available at Soligent. Click on the link below. Reach out if you're in the Central California area. Tom Sbrega, 559-961-9793. That's 559-961-9793. Give them a call. You use safe lithium iron phosphate batteries, which actually have the capability. Not only are they safe, they're longer life than NMC, nickel, manganese, cobalt, lithium product. Not all lithium's the same, folks. You get longer life cycles out of it as well for your customers. But in addition, with lithium technology, you talked about needing, in a perfect storm, having to fire that generator up on occasion. The battery's acceptance of all of that, all of those electrons, it really just, it's like opening up a fire hose. You don't have to turn on that generator for very long and burn a bunch of fuel, right? I mean, in some senses, you could even have a generator, batteries, and solar converter system, for example, and not even have solar. I mean, there's so many different variations depending on what someone's goals are that they could really have access to with this technology, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, that perfect storm for a typical battery backup home, that perfect storm might never happen. That's if you have your power out for an extended period of time, meaning more than 1 day, 2 days, where it's extended period of time, and there's dark skies. And that situation for a typical battery backup homeowner, it might never happen. It's just kind of like rolling the dice. You might never even have that. But if it does happen, you have the option to plug in. And yeah, it does charge very fast. I mean, I think it's over 5,000 watts of charging. So typical system, a few hours and you shut off the generator and you're fully charged again.
I know there's so many different options available on the market that our listeners, especially those who are in your business that are installers tuning in. Beyond Emissions podcast by Soligent. Our guest today, Tom Sbrega from Sbrega Electric. Give him a call, folks. Pick his brain, find out what he's doing, and he can help you if you're in the Central California area to get an energy storage solution. 559-961-9793. Tom, lots of different options available for people to choose from in the inverter world, for example. Mm-hmm. But you and I both love Solarc because in my opinion, it's the most flexible. It's battery agnostic, so you can pair it up with whatever battery option makes sense. You're not locked into one type. It's so capable of doing so many different functions: off-grid, grid tie, battery backup, time of use, demand charges, demand charge relief, setting it up for limit to home use, so you never sell back at all and you just self-consume everything. So now the grid is your backup. I mean, holy smokes. Grid tie only with no batteries, add batteries later. The Solarc inverters, is that why you love Solarc? Just the flexibility of being able to offer a solution to virtually any type of customer?
Yeah, definitely. It's very, very versatile inverter. And one thing I like about Solarc is I can log in on my end, and it's almost like I'm right there in front of the inverter. I have all the settings. I can change, check out the inverter without even going out to the site. I can change, this setting should be here, whatever, and I can modify it. And that's amazing because there's no other company that's like that. That's one of the things I like about them. But yeah, they are very versatile. You can turn grid cell off, so you're not even selling to PG&E. They have a smart load feature where you could hook that up so that if you have extra energy, it goes to a smart load, maybe a water heater or something. So they have a lot of cool things in their software and in their engineering that's not offered anywhere else. I mean, they really don't have any competition that gives you everything that Solarc gives you.
And most inverters out there, they don't have the true ability to back up a whole entire main electrical panel. Generally speaking, you have to put in a sub panel or critical loads panel, so only those loads are energized by the energy storage system. Whereas the Solarc 15K, talk about that. That's a different deal, right, with the 200 amp internal transfer switch?
That was amazing because before that came out, when we needed to use a transfer switch, we were buying a Eaton automatic transfer switch, which was pretty expensive. I mean, I think they're $1,800 or $2,000 if you look it up. Those transfer switches, they're nice, but they were an extra expense. It was an extra thing you put on the wall. And now with the internal 200 amp transfer switch for this Solarc, and they didn't even raise the price that much. So you're actually saving money by going with the Solarc, and it's one less thing to put on the wall, and you can run 2-aught wire in there and transfer over your entire 200 amp load for your entire house. So it'll be a pass-through of 200 amps, so you'll have full power all the time. When it goes offline, then it would transfer over and back up the whole house.
And then, of course, you properly design the battery system so the gas tank is big enough to handle all of those loads over X period of time. That's amazing. That is Tom Sbrega from Sbrega Electric with us. Give him a call if you're in Central California. He can help you today. 559-961-9793. Sbrega Electric, 559-961-9793. Give Tom a call. AC coupled, DC coupled, folks. That's, you got a brand new system and you set it up. AC coupled, you've got an existing system with an old inverter, Enphase, Solar Edge, whatever it might be, and it didn't come with batteries in the beginning, but now this customer wants battery backup, Tom. Solarc allows you, correct? Do you do this, AC couple, and add batteries to existing systems for folks?
Yes, actually, if you go to our website under blogs, I wrote a blog about AC coupling because it is a little confusing for some people, and it explains it, how we do AC coupling. So yeah, AC coupling with the Solarc, you can take I mean, any inverter really, and you can use that inverter and on the AC side, and the Solarc will actually fire up that inverter when needed to charge the batteries when you're in an off-grid mode.
Wow. Wow. So folks can have battery backup even though their existing system did not come with batteries. So rather than having to do a giant expensive retrofit from their original install and original investment, they can add batteries this way. Fantastic. And that makes sense, especially these folks that, bought solar even under NEM2. They're lucky enough to get in under NEM2 before the April 14th deadline and get those retail rates selling back. But storage allows you to capture some of that, because from 5 to 9 p.m., even under NEM2 selling back at retail rates at nighttime, the utilities got smart and started charging nearly double per kilowatt hour during that time. So energy storage still makes sense even under NEM2, right?
Yeah, NEM2, and I have the blog on the NEM3 also on the website that I encourage people to read, because it does, I tried to make it as clear as possible and explain everything through that. So with NEM2, with NEM1, people were on what they called an E1. It was a rate schedule. So if you used X amount, you got charged very low. And as soon as you went over that amount, they charged more. So the solar industry used to tell people, we don't have to cover your whole bill. We can put it on and cover those peak hours, those higher tiers is what they called it. The higher tiers we can cover and take that out. So you could still have a PG&E bill at the end of the year, but it'll be very low because you're staying in the low tiers. You're getting charged very low, 12 cents or something. And that changed with NEM2. With NEM2, now there's no more tier available for solar customers. They made you go to time of use. So what it did is it created an environment where solar professionals had to sell a system big enough to cover 100% of your bill, where before that wasn't absolutely necessary. You could still have great savings and financial benefit covering, 50, 60, 80% of your bill. You didn't need to cover it all. So that's how that kind of progressed. So with NEM2, if you designed a system that was big enough to cover your entire bill and you had a small credit at the end of the year, you didn't have to worry about the time of use. Now, if your roof didn't allow you to put that many panels on, then that's where it would be nice to have batteries, because you could avoid the 4 to 9 more expensive rate. Because you could store in the batteries and then use it between 4 and 9.
Yeah, and that 4 to 9 p.m. rate hike is nearly double what that retail sellback rate is to the utility. Like, it's like they just want to have their cake and eat it too. Well, with energy storage, you can play that game and have it be to your benefit. Lots of rebates and incentives for energy storage right now. Tom Sbrega Electric, in Central California. Give Tom a call, 559-961-9793, here today on the Beyond Emissions podcast. Some great rebates out there. 30% federal tax credit includes the storage. Lots of benefits for people to go with energy storage, especially after NEM3. Tom, we got to run, but for our listeners that want to go and contact you online and check out those blogs to learn more about NEM3, NEM2, and some of the other ins and outs of what's going on in the solar industry today, let our listeners know again, how can they find you online and go look at some of those great blogs that you have available?
Yes, SbregaElectric.com. That's S as in solar, B as in battery, REGA, electric.com. SbregaSolar.com. We also have that domain so that it's a little easier and people can get there maybe a little faster. That's S as in solar, B as in battery, REGA, spregasolar.com. Spregasolar.com takes you to the same place. And right on our main page, we now have a big NEM3 kind of thing that you can click on. And that'll take you to a landing page where it talks all about NEM3. And there's where you can find the blog on it and some other excerpts and different things that we have posted on that.
So thankful for you, Tom. Tom Sbrega from Sbrega Electric, Spregasolar.com. That's S as in solar, B as in battery, REGA solar.com or sbregaelectric.com, either domain. Check them out. Learn more today. Give him a call as well, 559-961-9793. Tom, appreciate your friendship and your partnership. Thank you so much for educating us today about NEM3 in California. And keep up the great work out there, Tom. And by the way, for our listeners, click down below if you'd like to be a Soligent dealer today. Join us, like Tom at Sbrega Electric. Would you mind letting our listeners know real quick why, if they're in the installation business, why they should choose a place like Soligent to work with?
Yeah, Soligent has a great selection of product, and that's great availability. Their sales reps very easy to deal with. We've been working with them for the last 5 years, and their delivery protocol is great. I don't have any complaints about them. I mean, it's just easy ordering and good prices, and you can work with your rep on the prices, and yeah, we've had great experience with them overall.
Sbrega Electric. Thank you so much, Tom. God bless you, your family, and your business, and all your customers. And I just pray that you continue to have great success out there, man. Thank you so much for joining us today on Beyond Emissions, Tom.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Josh.
Awesome.
Anytime.
Tom Sbrega, hang on the line for engineer, sir. Tom Sbrega, Sbrega Electric. Go to sbregasolar.com, S as in solar, B as in battery, REGA solar.com today, or give Tom a call at 559-961-9793, educating us today about energy storage and NEM3 in California, right here. Beyond Emissions podcast at the Soligent Spotify channel and at the Soligent YouTube channel. Like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be a part of our ongoing conversation about what it's going to take to create a world that is beyond emissions. I'm Josh Brumm, your host and energy storage manager here at Soligent, the largest pure-play solar distributor in the Americas.
We at Soligent are incredibly excited to announce our partnership with Give Power. Well, we wouldn't be here today talking to you about Give Power if it wasn't for our partners, LoanPal. They've been with Give Power since the beginning. Their contribution has given water and light to countless people across the globe. We are truly inspired by LoanPal's dedication to the cause. Something LoanPal said really strikes a chord regarding Give Power, that this is something that's more than money. It's what makes making money more worthwhile. In a lot of ways, that's synonymous with what we're doing here at Soligent.
Here's how you can help.
What we've decided to do is compound LoanPal's contribution by donating to Give Power on every order paid via our direct pay program through LoanPal. That's right. Every time your company uses your LoanPal portal to pay Soligent for material, 5 people get clean drinking water for a full year.
Together we're stronger.
Together, we can choose to be extraordinary by giving to people who live outside our reach. To us, this means a lot more.
Soligent's purpose meets Give Power's mission. Join the impact. Soligent, Solar Engine. SolarEngineSolutions.com. Go there to find out more. CALSSA, CALSSA, stands for California Solar and Storage Association. Join over 700 companies, including Soligent, and become a CALSSA member today. Go to www.calssa.org/join and enter Soligent as the discount code and receive 10% off your first year. Membership starts as low as $500 per year and covers you and your entire company. You can pay in monthly installments or once per year. Why join CALSA? For over 40 years, CALSA has been fighting for your rights in California. If you're an installer or contractor in California, it's CALSA working behind the scenes on your behalf to protect the solar and energy storage business you and your companies rely on each day. Imagine the utilities are totally unchecked without CALSA fighting for you. CALSA fights for your rights and also provides resources like direct one-on-one support from their experts to help you with your questions, navigating everything from NEM3 to battery fire code compliance. CALSA will help you and your company to stay up to date on the latest policy changes that impact the California solar and storage market and your bottom line. Joining CALSA helps to fund their work to lobby for cutting solar and storage red tape, pass pro-solar laws, and to defend your business from attacks. Become a CALSA member today at www.calsa.org/join and enter the discount code Soligent to receive 10% off your first year. CALSA is fighting for you and your business. Join over 700 companies like Soligent and make a difference in the California solar and energy storage market today.